England in the year 1066 stood at the brink of disaster. With the death of King Edward the Confessor, the throne was a prize many sought. Harold Godwinson had seized the crown, but his rule was not unchallenged. William, Duke of Normandy, made his claim across the Channel, and to the north, the fierce Harald Hardrada of Norway prepared to press his own right to rule. Hardrada, already legendary for his exploits as a warrior and king, was determined to stake everything on England. He raised a fleet of hundreds of ships and sailed across the North Sea with an army of hardened veterans. By his side was Tostig Godwinson, Harold's exiled brother, who hungered for revenge against his own family. Together, they brought a storm to England's northern shores. The men of York found themselves staring down a colossal invasion. Earl Edwin of Mercia and his brother Morcar, Earl of Northumbria, hurried to muster their levies. Though their numbers were smaller, they could not allow York to fall without resistance. If the Norwegians seized the city, it would open the north to conquest. The two armies met on the 20th of September at a crossing of the River Ouse near the village of Fulford. The battlefield was a patchwork of riverbank, marsh, and firm ground. The English shield wall formed across the ford, hoping the narrow terrain would blunt the Norwegian advantage. At first, it seemed to work. The Saxons stood firm as Hardrada's men surged forward. Axes crashed against shields, spears thrust through the gaps, and the din of battle echoed across the river. For a time, Edwin and Morcar's men held the line, but Hardrada was no ordinary commander. He ordered his warriors to push through the boggy ground on the flanks. Slowly, the shield wall was bent and broken as the Norwegians found ways around it. The English line collapsed under the pressure. What followed was a slaughter. Many of the Saxons were cut down as they fled, others drowned in the river as they tried to escape. The field was choked with the fallen, and the power of Edwin and Morcar was shattered in a single day. With victory secured, the gates of York opened to Hardrada. The city agreed to submit, providing hostages and provisions. For the moment, the north belonged to the Norwegians. Yet triumph would not last. For even as Hardrada celebrated, word reached Harold Godwinson in the south. With William of Normandy preparing his own invasion, Harold now faced the impossible: to march his army north at breakneck speed and crush the Norwegians before turning back again. The Battle of Fulford was the spark that set the whole chain of 1066 ablaze. It was a defeat that might have ended England's independence before Hastings was even fought. And yet, it also set the stage for Harold's desperate gamble at Stamford Bridge just days later. Forgotten by many, Fulford was the first act in the great drama of conquest. A moment when the fate of England hung by a thread, and the clash of shield walls decided the course of history.